What's up, guys? So this is my dream build right here. I've been saving quite some money for a few months now to finally put it together. That I'll mainly be using for gaming, streaming, and video editing. And right now I'm missing my graphics card because I really wanted a 2080 Ti, but it's sold out everywhere, and I had to settle for a 2080. It's not here yet, it's on its way, so you cannot see it on this initial picture, but it'll be here. Put the motherboard in here. Got Kyle here with me. Don't have Carmen. I would love to have Carmen. And here we go. That's nicely lined up. Yes, that's good. All right, now we're gonna put in the screws. So I just noticed I'm gonna run into a problem here. My plan was to run the motherboard cables through here. I thought I was gonna have enough space, but this plate being here, come on Kyle, stay there. My plan was to use this plate to mounting the pump. The pump would be right here, and then the reservoir attached to it. But this plate being here, there's no room for me to run the motherboard cables. Now the CPU cables would be fine because there's another grommet right here, but the motherboard cables are not gonna fit through there. So this is gonna have to go. So I was able to fix that, and this is what it looks like. So that's how it looks. And what I managed to do is, so I took the top cover off. Let me just try and get this off. Whatever it wants, there we go. And So this back plate right here is held by 2 screws here, 2 screws on the bottom, and some screws over here. But what I did is I unscrewed this one a little bit, well, all the way out, and I was able to push the panel forward and run the cables through that. And there is like a bigger opening up here, and that's how the cables are running through. So now I'm going to be installing the fans onto the radiators. For the fans, I went with all Corsair LL series. They're all going to be 120 millimeter fans. And I went with these fans because they honestly look pretty damn good. There's many reviews out there. I really recommend them. They did some testing on these fans on a Corsair AIO. So they recorded the temperature with the stock fans, and then they placed these fans, and they were able to drop the temperature by like 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, which is pretty good. So that tells you that these fans perform better than stock fans well, that's at least on AIOs. So we'll be installing them right now. By the way, I think Bitwit is the one that did the review on these fans, and he showed the lighting combinations you can use. They're really good. So go to his channel if you want to see how these fans perform and they look. So now I'll be doing the 240 millimeter rack, which is the same process. I'll be using 2 radiators to cool my Red River 2950X. That's only going to be the only component. Maybe in the future I'll add the RTX 2080 or whichever graphics card I decide to upgrade in the future. I know it's overkill, but I have the space in the case, and it's better to have more than less. So right now I'm setting up the fans a certain way because I already know how the radiators are going to be mounted on the case, and I'll explain that here in a second. So whenever you're building your computer, you want to think ahead. You know, like think of the how you're going to treat the cables, what are you going to do with everything, pretty much every aspect of it. Anything. Let's actually put these first. Even going in. always you will want it hand tight. Only hand tight. You don't want to over tighten. So like I was saying, thinking head. So this is gonna go on top. So you can picture the motherboard right here, and the tubing coming from the CPU block up to here. So now the cables are going to be facing this way for cable management. If I had the cables over here, then you would have to route them and it wouldn't look as clean. So that's like that. And this is going to go vertical like this with the holes for the tubing coming in. It's going to be like that. So the cables are just going to go this way. And this is how you put two radiators into your case and making sure your cabling is pretty good. So now I'll be installing the exhaust fan, which is going to be the same kind of fan, only a little bit bigger, 100 and full millimeters big. Look at this. Oh, I can feel that. Can you feel it? Probably not, but I can. It's pretty good. Looks like a fidget spinner, doesn't it? I don't even know how people liked those a few years ago. Glad they're gone though. I'm sure you are too. Everybody was annoyed by those. So take the back panel off, put it to the side. So same thing like I mentioned, have the cable leads come to the back of the case. So we're gonna bring it in like, actually here first, I will be feeding these cables through here. So my case has in most cases that I've seen, have little holes back here. Somewhere if I could guide it right. Oh man, I can't see it. So that's one. And that is here soon enough. It's stuck. Two. Finally. So bring it up. So this is what's going to be pushing all the hot air from my graphics card out. And you just screw it from the back. Ladies. That was a bad joke. You don't do that. If I can align it, it's actually hitting the motherboard a little bit. That's why I can't push further. That VRM cooling solution on the Zenith Extreme is really beefy. So that's why I'm having trouble aligning this, but it'll go in. It'll go in. It's a little tight, but it'll go in. Whoa. Stripped it a little bit, not too bad though. Not too bad. Now we're gonna do the opposite corner. Okay, that's good enough. I also like these fans because on both sides they have rubber feet. So that'll minimize the vibration sounds between the fan and the case or the radiator. So these are really, really good. They better be because they're expensive. And now the last one. Woo! Jesus. Them Spider-Man reflexes, you see that? So now I have the cables coming back here nice and clean. You can even see them through here instead of mounting the fan the other way, having the fans come out like this. And now if I run them back, you're gonna be able to see them even though you try to hide them. So like I was talking about with cable management, I ran into a small little hiccup with all these fans that I'll be running through. So through here, I don't have really any openings because that one is covered and I don't really want to do the whole thing where I have to push this forward again because the cables are going to be coming on this way. So what I figured is I will drill, ladies, some hole here and run all the cables through, and the radiator is actually going to be covering that hole, so you're not even going to be able to see it. So we're going to be turning here on the back. And by the way, these are extensions, so these are not full custom cables, and these are from Asia Horse. I actually saw them on Bitwood's channel too. They're really good. He compared them to other cables, including Cable Mod, and they're really good and really cheap. I would suggest, if you're in the market for doing something like this, definitely check these out. I tested them before actually putting the build together, and they're good. So I will be drilling, ladies again, the hole through here, because this is the most centered place where I can run the cables through and just have it right here. So let's get some drilling. Have a good drill over here. RIP headphone users. So let's get to drilling. It doesn't really want to go through. I think this is a very weak drill, or a very strong case from Fractal Design. We don't know. I borrowed this from a friend, so that's that. But yeah, this does not feel very good. Did this pop off over here? It didn't. Let's see if I can get this other one through here. I don't know, I think it's better from the back again. Ladies, sorry for the jokes. This is intended for mature audiences, even though that's not very mature. It's gonna be very hard to get that last hole right there, because it just keeps on trying. Oh, this is getting loose, ladies. All the jokes, all the jokes. All right, I think I got it that time. Let's test something. We're gonna try to feed. It looks pretty rough. It's actually sharp, but I'll be fixing it a little bit. Probably off camera, but so I'll be able to run the tips through here. Actually, not yet. Well, this is a little more difficult than I expected. I thought it was going to be clean the first try, but it needs to be bigger on this end, because on the back end, I already tested it. I need to get a little higher. This is not a very good drill that I borrowed from a friend. I think I have to drill. The bit is not even hot. Let's test it again. Let's just grab the cable over here. Still having trouble with it. Now it's stuck. Just get something to push it back with. Huh. It's very stuck. go. What the hell? Alright, so finally fixed that issue here. My cameraman, my good friend Jet, he came up with the idea of whiting it with these cheap multi-tool. I paid like $5-10 for this. So what we did is put it in. No more jokes, no more jokes. I'll try not to make more jokes through the rest of this video. And twisted it sideways while putting pressure, pushing it in. And just twist it like this, and now it's wide enough for the cables to run through. Whoa. Easy there. Now we're gonna start feeding the cables slowly, one by one. And they're all gonna fit through there. Two more. And now all the cables are through. Now we're going to push them, pull them evenly. And since we want this to be at the top, make sure that I had it like that first. Keep on pulling, nice and tight. Keep them all nice and tight. Bring it into place. Some cables. Oh, there we go. Got them. And now you can't even see I did that to this really strong case or really crappy drill. I don't know what it was. Maybe a little bit of both. And now I'll be screwing the rad in place. Alright, so now I'll be feeding in the CPU cables. So I'll be fitting it through the grommet right here. And plug it before I put the radiator. This one. And this is going to be two. Like this. Find it. There we go. It's just a little tight. Bring this forward. Just like that. I should. This. There we go. So now, I'll be putting in the top radiator. So like I was talking about with basic cable management, wrap all the cables and feed them through the grommet up here. That's one, that's two. 3, 4, and if you know what that means, you'll get it. Missing one. It's kind of hard to do this without looking at it from the front. And you probably can't even look at it because my hand is on the way. So I get to pull all of them nice and tight. Again, tight fit. Here. and let me feel. So kind of there, maybe a little bit closer. I think that's good. So I was gonna start working on the loop, and then I noticed that I was gonna run into the problem of the pump. I wanted the pump to be on the basement, but it doesn't fit in the basement. So I don't have many options, so I ended up putting it on top of the power supply shroud. I ended up drilling through it. It was hard because there is grooves right here for airflow, and getting the drill to go through right through those is pretty hard. So it's in place now. Only 2 screws are holding it on the back, which seems to be enough. And it's time to do some bends now.
Hey you, I saw you from the distance. Hey you, can we talk? Hey.
So I finally got my graphics card, and while I was waiting for the graphics card, I went and finished the entire build, the remaining of it. I was not able to film it because I had time issues with being able to record and everything, so I had very little free time here and there, and I just finished it like that. This is my first entire build from scratch, and let alone first time water cooling custom loop like this. I've always dealt with computers I've been able to buy and then upgrade them and piece by piece, but never put an entire system by myself, and I think it's all right. I think it's all right. I'm actually pretty happy about it. So now let's get the graphics card installed and see what that looks like. Just be very careful about not messing with these hard lines. All right, snapped in. Let's fold it in place. Thumb screw in. Can't get it in. Alright, let's go threading in. And now let's plug it in. Alright, so there we have it. The build is complete, and now let's get some nice B-roll on it.
Yeah.
And now to see if we can get a good peel on this. And there it is, that was the last piece, and it's glory of RGB. So this is it. My dream build is finally done. I hope you liked the video. It was quite the journey. This is my first build, and I'm really proud of it. It may not be perfect, but it is mine, and it's all my work. So don't be afraid of trying your first build. It may not be this complex, it may be more complex, but you are the only one that's gonna be the final judge. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video, and if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.